Bibi Netanyahu, um, I think, is still, and I don't know where they got their data from, but from what I understand, his group, the Likud, which is the biggest party, has still got the most, would still win an election today with the most seats. And the right wing, the center right wing, and the religious parties forming their government would still be the government today. Now, there's the media in Israel, the general media, like in America, and some of the loudest mouthed politicians are very much anti-Bibi Netanyahu. So it might sound like they really, that he's not popular. And I'm not saying he's very popular. I'm just saying it's a lot worse. It sounds a lot worse than it really is. So these guys are just like spewing stuff that doesn't hasn't been really checked out. They haven't really spoken and gone and checked with Israeli, let's say, people, who are the people you should be checking with, and they're just sort of putting it all on. It's Bibi Netanyahu, and he's acting like a crazy man. It's not an easy political. I mean, he is very tough. If you think Trump's tough, I'd say he's maybe tougher because he has to deal with it every day. And um, I'm not trying to tell you you know, um, I like everything about him, but at the moment, I don't see anyone better than him to make good decisions for that country. So, and it's not an easy. There's a lot of different types of little parties within this government of his. There's the religious, there's the national religious, they mentioned Itamar Ben-Gvir, he's like a far right religious group. Then he's got his party, and there's some secular people that are more right wing. It's not easy. But what I can say is that he's the only guy that can manage it. If any one of these other guys would be given the chance, they could not form a government. Simple as that. So what they're saying is total garbage.
Well, that's good to know that Netanyahu is a little more popular than what is portraying. And I think they quoted a poll that they pulled out of an Israeli newspaper over there, but I'm not necessarily a fan of every
Probably a
single
left
poll
wing.
out there too, because
Yeah.
the vast majority of the polls here in the United States did Trump a huge disservice, saying that he's always at the bottom end of the
Yeah.
polls, that he's never going to beat Kamala or anything else like that. And every single one of those polls proved out to be wrong. And so if you've got a left wing poll, then obviously it's going to be skewed one way or the other. The other question I have for you is, within Netanyahu's party, is there anybody else there that is just as strong as Netanyahu and would put up any type of competition to him specifically that could
No.
run against him within the same party? Or do you think that most Jews are set with Netanyahu and like what he's doing?
That is a great question. At the moment, I don't think there's someone in politics that could take over and um, take over from him because firstly, I think he's great statesman, and he's a great orator for the Jewish people, for the state of Israel and the Jewish people. He is. He's a very smart guy. And honestly, if he wouldn't have gone into politics, he would have been some huge executive at, you know, I mean, he is impressive. Okay. Um, but that's like one of the challenges in Israeli politics. And I think if I'm going to criticize him, I just don't understand it. Like, you got to know that your time's up, and you got to have someone who's going to take over, and keep what you started going. So there isn't anyone. And I had a close friend who unfortunately passed away a few months ago. He was very close to the all those that political uh, party of Bibi Netanyahu, and he told me the same thing. He said he needs to find an understudy that will take over.